let us discuss different types of hyperactivity. Now, there are different etiological factors or associated factors which creates hyperactivity. The number one is mood based or arousal based hyperactivity. Generally, there are few kids, if they get excited, they are not able to bring their arousal back to the normal. If they get excited, their mind keeps in excited mood, and then that excitation, the child becomes hyperactive. For example, the child starts laughing and he keeps laughing and is not able to control on his laughing. The child starts talking and he keeps talking and talking, but he's not able to know where to stop. Or child, if he's excited, or if he's playing around, he's running around, then he does not know, or he doesn't understand where to stop and when to stop. So when the moods are elated, when the child is in excitation form, in terms of sensory integration terminology, when the child's arousal is very high or is high and is not able to bring his excitation down, in that hyper excitation mode, the child shows hyperactivity. The second type of hyperactivity is body awareness based hyperactivity. In this, the brain receives the signal from the body to create a body awareness in the motor area. If the body awareness is not well developed, or the body or the brain is unable to register adequate inputs from the body, then the brain does not send appropriate control to the body. This is called as a dyspraxia. But there is an accountant area. Let's assume that there is an accountant area which is responsible to create an appropriate brain and body connection, which needs an adequate inputs from the body. But if the brain is not able to register those adequate inputs, then the brain's motor area will ask the body to move, do extra movements, and that extra movements appears as hyperactivity, or they cause hyperactivity. So this is the second type, is body awareness based hyperactivity, where brain wants extra signals from the, let us say, hands or legs or overall muscles system in the body. The third reason or third type of hyperactivity is hyperactivity due to hypotonia. Exactly same or near about same when the brain is not able to receive appropriate signal from the body. Brain is not able to send a control, but over here, when the brain is not able to create an appropriate tension in the muscles to create appropriate awareness from the distal muscles or distal parts of the body, brain will ask the body to do more movements or exaggerated movements. There's a slight difference between body awareness based hyperactivity and hypotonia based hyperactivity. In body awareness based hyperactivity, the overall body is involved, but in hypotonia based hyperactivity, the child's distal muscles are more involved. We can see those movements in autism where the child is hypotonic, or we can see this hypotonia based hyperactivity in Down syndrome. The fourth type of hyperactivity is hyperactivity due to abnormal primitive reflexes. Now, in the early stages of development, the brain is not well developed and the brain is not causing the movements. So there is a system, the mediator system is called as a primitive reflexes. They carry out the movements based on certain stimulus. So for example, you must have seen, if you hold a baby's hand, the baby curls the fingers and it appears like the baby is recognizing us or baby wants us to be there, but that is not emotion, it is just a primitive palmar grasp reflex. Just like that, baby is inside the womb, it's in the more on flexed condition. When the baby comes out, the extensor mechanism is supposed to be developed. For that, there is a reflex called TLR or tonic labyrinthine reflex. when the tonic labyrinthine reflex helps the body to go into the extensor tone, but this reflex after some time should get integrated, and if it does not get integrated, then the extensor mechanism remains in the body, and the brain try to receive more signals from the extensor mechanism. And you must have seen there are many kids, if they get excited, if they get aggressive, they do this, so their extensor muscles get excited in a very short span, and that creates hyperactivity. In fact, TLR primitive reflex is more associated with the impulsivity also, where the child goes on his toes, or we can say the child reacts very quickly, or he shows impatient behavior also. The fifth type of hyperactivity we can say is neurological based. In fact, overall hyperactivities are neurologically based, but this is a type where there is some kind of organic dysfunction in the brain which is giving extra signals to the body, and we can call as a choreoform movements or hyperkinetic movements. We also can call it as a tics, physical motor tics, and that creates hyperactivity which cannot be controlled by the child. And last and sixth type of hyperactivity is hyperactivity seen in autism. When we call it as autism, the child in autism state, he does not have enough body awareness, that we have already discussed. He shows a lot of hypotonia also, but over here the brain wants to explore the environment, but because of a lot of sensory processing, modulation, sensory integration dysfunction, the brain is unable to receive signals from the environment. But yet brain is intelligent, so brain try to explore the environment in an abnormal way, and for that the child may show unnecessary movements, or he may climb anywhere, he may run here and there, but in that movements the child is not able to learn anything. So when we say hyperactivity in autism, it's a very different types of hyperactivity the child will show. When we say hyperactivity in ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, in that child shows over exploration ability, or the child shows more of a distractibility. So these are the different types of hyperactivities we discussed. Let's summarize it. The hyperactivity due to arousal, the hyperactivity due to lack of body awareness, the hyperactivity due to neurological dysfunction, hyperactivity caused because of the hypotonia, neurological deficit based hyperactivity which is called the hyperkinetic or tics disorder, then over exploration, and last is hyperactivity seen in autism.